If you're smart, but you feel stuck, it's because you're missing this one skill. You can spend years grinding at university and at your job only to look to your left and see people stupider than you blowing right past you in life. Or you can learn this one skill that gets you what you want and allows you to have the impact you desire. And here's the truth. The people who get what they want out of life are not necessarily the smartest. In fact, there is basically no correlation between intelligence and net worth. None. Just look at this chart. Now, I'm not saying that money is the be-all and end-all, but it does give you a pretty good illustration of the point. It's not intelligence that's going to predict your success, it's going to be this skill. And since you're watching this, YouTube gave this to you for a reason. You have so much potential, and there is nothing more sad than intelligent, high-potential individuals wasting their lives away at companies who only see you as a body with half a mind to complete a job. Over the last 15 years, from high school to now, I have dedicated my life to becoming a chemical engineer, and I even got my dream job, and last month I left it all behind. I realized that smart people who learn this skill become unstoppable. And the good news is, this skill is pretty simple to learn, but it requires you becoming an engineer, not by name or career, but in mindset. When I think of a great engineer, I think of great visionaries, strategists, and innovators. The people who achieve the impossible against all odds. Fritz Haber and Carl Bosch and the Haber-Bosch process that fed the world. Leonardo da Vinci and his armored car that inspired modern tanks. Da Vinci was an absolute beast. He had so many other inventions like a flying machine, parachute, and even prosthetic limbs. Then you have Wilbur Wright and the first plane that made air travel a reality. Alex Turing and the Turing machine that provided the foundation for modern computers. Nicholas Otto and the invention of the combustion engine that revolutionized human travel forever. This is what engineering teaches you. You learn the laws of physics. You learn that solutions to problems are only limited by physics and one's imagination. Humans can't float in air because the density of our bodies is greater than air. But what we can do is burn gas into fabric and then attach a basket to it. Or we can design a horizontally mounted propeller system that spins really fast to generate enough downforce. That's like a helicopter. Or we can design a particular wing and accelerator system to take flight. Or, my personal favorite, we can go and ruin 100 kids' birthday parties by stealing their helium balloons, because I hate fun. The point is, inside the laws of physics, there are no unsolvable problems. Every problem has a solution, and there is no one solution, but instead multiple solutions. I just gave you multiple solutions for this floating problem. See, design and strategies are ultimately just the decisions that people have made. That's all it comes down to, decisions. So while these great engineers were incredibly intelligent, and you and I would never reach their level, it wasn't their intellect that made them so extraordinary. It was what they applied their intellect to. It was what they created, what problems they solved, and their contribution to humanity. And there is one skill that matters for this than anything else. Agency is a skill of skills. I define agency as the ability to figure it out, to solve the set of problems between you and your goal. Smart people get stuck because they lack agency. And there is one thing that blocks agency more than anything else: limiting beliefs. If you went for a morning stroll on the sand dunes in Kitty Hawk when the Wright brothers were trying to test their plane, what you would see is two brothers setting out camp on this sand dune, flapping their arms like a bird. Fools, you'll say, complete fools. We do this all the time. We make assumptions for what we think is possible and we hold them as fact. Doing this is a part of human nature, but smart people are particularly vulnerable to it because they have the cognitive horsepower to rationalize their assumed models of the world, and then they throw away the key that allows them to update it. Humans flying? Impossible, that can't be done. Well, that's exactly what the experts said when the Wright brothers were trying to make their first plane. Limiting beliefs are blockades for agency. Your mind is closed and your imagination is limited, and they hold you back from taking action. If you have limiting beliefs about money, will you take the necessary steps to go make more money? No. If you have limiting beliefs about women, are you going to take the necessary steps to improve your dating life? No. If you have limiting beliefs about bodybuilding, are you going to take the necessary steps to build a more aesthetic body? No. Being smart doesn't make you immune to poverty, loneliness, or obesity. Would you imagine? And there is only one way to destroy limiting beliefs, and that is to test them like an engineer would. Loosen the grip of your beliefs and think about it more as a hypothesis that you can test. For example, I used to think gym bros were stupid meatheads. And when you catch yourself making these type of statements, think, how can I test this statement? Well, for me, I could go to the gym, I can train, and then I can go talk to a couple of them. Your experience will either confirm or negate the hypothesis, but a good engineer will always ask, how can this be wrong? Is it a small sample size? Can I just chalk it up to bad culture at this particular gym? See, from this one result, we start developing other hypotheses that we can test, and then we design another experiment, and then we go test it. The thing is, you need to disprove your limiting beliefs through action. Run experiments, draw conclusions, and iterate endlessly. Now, if you want to think more like an engineer and understand why low agency is the default by design while taking control of your life, then you need to go watch this video right here. And if you haven't seen it already, I'll see you over there.